Let's get into it.
No worries.
And 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Hello everyone, welcome to the Flat Pack Show, episode 84. I nearly said 3 then. It's 84. I'm your host, Flattmeister. I've got my co-hosts sounding very robotic today, so I apologise. It's Switchpoint.
Hello, how was everybody?
We've got Nerd Waffle.
Hello.
And we have a special guest who's also robotic as well. Is it Ben Fuselier? Is that the name you go by, or?
Well, it's pronounced Fuselier, but you could just call me Ben Fuse because I know it's a little easier.
Oh yeah.
So we've got Jay in the chat. Apologise for he said the stream is never on time. We try to be. We have technical difficulties and such.
We did actually have some technical difficulties around this. Like that was the thing. We fixed it though. We're good to a degree. We fixed it today. Technical difficulties abound apparently.
We do not, however, apologize for our mental states because that is never going to be fixed.
I mean, I've come to accept the fact that we're all mentally weird.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the flat pack without that.
Exactly.
We haven't got Crumple Point again, I'm afraid.
No.
It's a sad time when you can't get a Crumple Point.
Yeah, I understand from what I understand. I think he's retiring from the YouTube gig.
Yeah, it's a shame hearing that he's given up.
No, I wouldn't say he's given up. I would say he's just kind of like moving forward with other endeavors.
Yeah, other endeavors.
Other endeavors. So, we have with us here today, though. Like we said, we Twitter, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but so you have a book coming out like later this month. You were telling us before we came out live here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, what is OUTLAW going to be about? How about we get that out of the way?
Well, it's going to take place for history repeating itself type of thing, where humanity, like back in the day when Europeans discovered the new world of who's getting, who's grabbing what territory, that our main character, Cyrus Lawson, who's basically working a settlement called Dread, and he's essentially just trying to get away from all this fate as a plan, because he's going to be kidnapped by a bunch of redefined sense of right and wrong, because he's a very justice, and he hates all the criminals and ne'er-do-wells, and will learn that life is not that cut and dry, and that a lot of villains start off good, a lot of good people.
Yeah. No. The basic, the basic kind of, I guess he's gonna be playing kind of like the leader role, and he's gonna like learn the intricacies of like what it means to be a true leader these
The whole look through someone else's eyes kind of thing.
Could alter the balance of world power.
I do like it. I do like it. It could be interesting.
Everyone's sorry. I just wanted to interrupt. Everyone's coming through really like they sound like drunk robots. Everyone sounds like drunk robots.
Flat just has like a really bad connection.
Yeah, I'm hearing everybody fine.
Yeah, I'm hearing everyone fine. I mean, Ben's a little low, but I mean, he can't tell by his phone.
No,
Oh no. No.
Jay says it sounds like a dubstep bass wobble. I'm not sure what's like why.
What is it like? I guess. Are you on the Wi-Fi right now?
Am I on the what? Sorry.
Are you on Wi-Fi or do you have wired?
Oh, it's all wired up. Yeah. Not sure.
Okay. Maybe you should reset your router after this show. Who knows? No,
all the problems in the world.
I mean, every once in a while, if you do have a wireless good to actually to restart it, like literally not even as is like a mini computer. So every once in a while it does though, because we don't want the show to go off air. But it is always good to bring everything back up and running. So, but I'm looking at your character cigar there. Oh, really? Okay.
Is the cat part of the series is going to come from
Okay. I mean, we never know. You gotta leave some surprise. Our main, actually, you know what? Your main camera is okay with that. They are, you know, and you want to play like a 90s style badass.
Just buy all of them. Like, buy all of them. Spend millions of dollars on it and create your next.
No, we need to use some of that technology. We can get we can get Russell Crowe.
well, I think a Latino.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you.
Oh my
Like-
god, really? The voice is now cleared up. Literally, me and Jay in the chat going, we cannot understand what anyone is saying, and then all of a sudden, Switch's voice speeds up and say, blah, 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 blah.
Sure. I'll take it. Apparently,
And now it's gone.
the
Now it's gone.
fastest I've ever sounded.
It's gone bad again for some reason.
Now it's gone. Now I'm terrible. Oof.
Oof. See, I'm not sure what's going
Your
on.
computer isn't dying on you. Who's to say?
Oh.
Who's to say?
I am. I'm to say.
Right, now it's cleared up. If I minimise the windows. How weird. Right, I've minimised the windows.
How many things? I mean, do you have like a lot of stuff running in the background, or what?
Well, I've only got the YouTube chat open, the YouTube streaming page, the live control room, OBS, and Twitter are the only pages I've got. And I'm not,
Okay.
I'm not touching anything on the laptop. It's a bit irritating. So go on. Sorry,
Well,
I want to interrupt you. What you were saying, you're on a roll then.
Oh, we were just joking. Like, so the main villain is a Latino guy, and I was joking, like, we can get like a young Russell Crowe, but of course, Russell Crowe's not, and he's not, he's not Latin or Latin American, so I don't think that would work out.
He could be.
He could be with enough training. I mean, he's an actor.
Yes, he will act that way.
Exactly.
So I think I've found the problem was basically I've just minimized every single window pretty much.
Well, that's good.
And it seems to have cleared everything up. Jay says you're making love to his ears, bro. Switch.
I mean, it's what I do. Maybe I should just start doing ASMR, like turn my mic up, like way,
up the gain, up like.
They had a fucking Reese's peanut butter cup like AMSR, like that was legitimate on Crave, I guess, and it's the weirdest fucking shit ever. It's like, so it's not like a porno thing or anything. It's a legit thing where they like ruffle the bar wrapper, and like, I guess I haven't watched it, but I saw the TV spots for it. I'm like, that is the weirdest shit I've ever seen. I've seen some fucked up shit.
I've seen some things, man.
I've seen some things. Yeah, and I've never seen that.
Mm.
Oh well, yeah, no, I've never seen that either. But you know what? I'm not like I think that's what kind of current media is all about right now. Like, current media
is about porn that's not porn.
Porn that's not porn. No, current media is trying to catch up on trends, like that the online culture is like already way ahead on. Like,
they're like Steve Buscemi. Hello, fellow kids.
well, it's true though. Like, it's true. Would you disagree with me? Like, a lot of them are. Oh
no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't disagree.
Yeah, like, it's like, hell, we have a movie, like they're talking about, like they did the emoji movie. There's talked about like a meme movie or something in the works. Like, what really?
Like, the emoji movie, I can kind of see, like, you can kind of do stuff because they got at least faces. You can make them characters. But how the fuck do you make a movie out of memes? Like, unless you buy the rights to the memes, and I don't know.
Well, memes
they're all going to be like outdated memes.
Exactly. It's going to be like 2012 memes, isn't it? Like my god, and you mad bro, and
they're gonna, like, like the depressed face memes. It's going to be about that. Like, mark my words, it's all going to be out of date memes.
Yeah. So anyway, Ben, because we had that little technical hiccup, did you mind just repeating the sort of little plot summary of what Outlaw Nights was about? Because I couldn't.
No problem.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. No, I was just saying it's going to take place in the distant future, about 1,000 years from now, and it's essentially history repeating itself. It's kind of like Manifest Destiny 2.0 is the best way I could put it, because the countries of Earth are all competing for territory out in space, and of course, with space being as vast as it is, there's also been a new golden age of piracy booming.
Yeah.
And in the middle of all this, Cyrus Lawson is just kind of this simple guy with kind of a messed up past. And he's essentially just trying to find, his simple life out in this middle of nowhere settlement called Jerez. And of course, fate intervenes in that he ends up getting kidnapped and whisked away by this group of pirates, and slowly but surely he ends up going from seeing the world as just good and evil to seeing that not everything is that cut and dry, and that sometimes sometimes you got to do a bad thing in order to do a good thing, kind of thing.
Yeah. A little bit of nuance and subtlety.
Yeah, and kind of, I wouldn't say Breaking Bad, but along those similar lines.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, I like it, and we were talking earlier. Like, was there any inspiration for? I was joking earlier about which characters I think like they remind me of, but was there any characters like that you would say that were inspirations for your main character and for your villains and all kind of stuff, or like who were kind of like your influences in making these characters? You know,
Russell Crowe.
Well, let's see. I know for Serpent, who is the guy on that cover photo y'all were looking at. He's the one who's mixing the drink. He's essentially the con man of the group. And I remember he was one of the first characters I came up with. And he was kind of like a bizarre blend of a few things. There was this video game on PlayStation 2 way back in the day, kind of obscure. It's called Gun.
Oh, I remember Gun. Yeah, it was like a first-person western, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Was it
this
first
game,
or oh, it's third person? And you had like the slow-mo.
Man, it's so divisive. I know people who really hated it, and I know people who really liked it. Like,
well, like there was a character in it named Soapy Jennings, and he was he was your classic Western character who like cheats at cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so he was one of the inspirations for Serpent, in that I liked the idea. I like the idea of the trickster, the shyster. Only the twist with Serpent is that where he is right now is that he's starting to kind of regret his life of being a con man. It's like he spent so much time lying that he's kind of forgotten the truth in some ways. But I know for Ivory, the captain there, physically, a lot of his physical attributes was inspired from Big Boss from the Metal Gear series. But I also wanted to when they get the colors in, this will be more apparent. But Ivory's actually kind of a mix. He's white and Latino, so he's gonna have like really dark hair and pretty tan skin. But I remember telling my artist, like, yeah, give me a muscular Hispanic Jesus. And he was like,
I mean,
okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay with a muscular Hispanic Jesus. I mean, does he die and then come back later? Like, he'll be like, he just kind of like he just like reappears and he's like, yes, don't worry about it. I am the second coming. All right, let's go.
Get in, bitches.
Like,
I gave Ivory a lot of my my sarcasm. Most of my sarcasm is in Ivory.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I mean, you know what? A character with a bit of sarcasm never hurts, especially if you know how to get the timing right for it. That's the key, right? You got to make it like proper. So would you say this is going to be like what, like a more of like a 90s romp in space, like 90s action, or are you going to go like more of the space opera route?
I would say it's going more space opera, but the idea is I wanted to blend a lot of the classic elements into this story because, just kind of a revitalizing the old elements that were in comics, but at the same time, I don't want this to just read as like, okay, this is a 90s comic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want it to be kind of a blend.
Well, I mean, like, you want it to feel, I imagine you probably want to try to feel as natural as possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, by all means, I think I think there's definitely like potential here for sure from what I've seen. The art is fantastic, from what I've seen so far.
Absolutely.
And like, are you? Well, I mean, are you the artist that's working on the series, or do you have somebody else who's working on art there for you?
Oh no, I'm just the creator and writer. The art is being done by Render Contender.
Okay, for sure.
I don't know if y'all heard of him. He's actually just got done working on Graveyard Shift Volume 2 by John Malin.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Graveyard Shift was. I have Graveyard Shift #1. Great book. Actually, quite enjoyable. Very much a throwback to like the '90s and very, very, very action packed.
Well, I know that. Yeah, like Render's art is very reminiscent of the '90s. I mean, he loves to draw muscular dudes, but I mean that worked out for me because I really didn't want anybody looking unsexy.
Oh yeah, well I think I mean you've chosen a very fantastic artist to definitely like portray that feel of like the action movie kind of set feel, and of course definitely get like the nice saturated colors in there too. So like not everything looks too gray or too one sided in color palettes. So it definitely like makes things pop quite nicely.
Oh, thank you.
Well, no worries. I mean, that's key when it comes to like comics and stuff. I think that's like another problem I have with current media was the color palettes are just not. They just don't pop as much as they used to. You know what I mean? Like, it's very much one-sided color palettes of too brown, either too brown or too gray or too dark. It's there's nothing about like trying to make anything stand out as much as it used to.
Absolutely. And I mean, just in general, like the quality in most like mainstream art is just it's gone down so much. I'm just like that was honestly like what gave me the confidence boost to do this was like I was looking at some of those things like like Squirrel Girl and all that. And I was just like, so this is professional. I'm like, like so if this is professional, then shit, the sky's the limit. I mean.
Well, I mean, like, okay, remember when indie used to be, okay, well, this is low grade, this is like, you understood, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to give it forgiving, like, this is indie, so we're going to forgive it a bit, we're going to be like, okay, well, this guy's just starting out, or, he doesn't have the money like that, like the big guys would have, right? And then it says something when the indies even look better than the big guys like DC or Marvel do,
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not just talking about like indies, all like yourself, like on Indiegogo, that are on Kickstarter, who like make those books. But if I even even the indies, like even the image indies and the indies at like Dynamite and stuff like that, when they're even looking better than the mainstream Marvel and DC can offer these days. I mean, that's like, guys, like it's you've fallen behind as like. Everybody else used to like play second fiddle to you or third fiddle. Like, no, you guys are now like, I would argue fifth fiddle to everybody else. Like, you've fallen that far behind.
No, we haven't shut up. That's the reaction.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? Like, it's a sad day. It's like I think it's like one of those things like you never think you'll see it, but like when it's there, you're like, oh well, what do I do now? Now that that's happened, like,
oh
God, yeah. I mean, I just find it funny more than anything else,
Well, it's just like from a, I guess from kind of an emotional standpoint, I think it's pretty awesome that it's kind of like the age of the independent creators. Like that's kind of the dream, to be able to start with nothing and work your way up and do what you want to do. And I think indie could be the future.
Definitely.
Yeah, like I think it's we're coming into the age of indie creators, right? Not just for comics, for video games too, and for I think it's going to happen for like movies or in media, for like TV shows and stuff like that soon too, because I think we're kind of hitting that. You know what I mean? Like I think we're hitting the age, like the new age of indies. I think that's like I think we'll call. I think where the indie creator is proving themselves to be better than than what the mainstream can offer, because the indies understand the people better. You know what I mean? And the people's wants.
Oh yeah, most definitely. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, anytime, you know, this relates to my whole philosophy on life, but it's like anytime you got a small group of elitists controlling what everybody else gets, you know,
Yeah.
not you know, the ratio of happiness goes down. You know.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, like, take a look at it, right? Like, we have like because like what is it now, right? We have Ion Fury coming out. Ion Fury was originally going to listen to the SJWs, but then they said no. We realized listening to the SJWs is not what our fans wanted, so they walked back and they said, okay, we're sorry. No, you know what? We're not going to censor our game. We're going to keep our game for the fans because that's what the fans wanted. And then and then you have like A Hat in Time, which said, okay, well, people still want platformers. We can make them right. So they made like a platformer. And then you have like stuff like the comics, like John Malin's comic, your comic, who's like, well, people want comics that are like action filled, but like not just action filled, comics that like don't push like not that the comics aren't political. I mean, comics can be definitely political, but comics that
apolitical, isn't it?
It's not even that they're apolitical. It's that they're not right out. They're not right out preachy. They're not preaching to the fan base. They're saying, like, even if there's a political message, you're here for a fun ride before you are here for a political message. Yeah, you're here for a story. You're here for character development. You're here for fantastic art. Even with stuff like, take a look at Dave Chappelle's comedy show. Dave Chappelle said, screw it. Yeah, I'm going to tell an offensive joke. The new comedy show, if you haven't watched it yet, I recommend seeing it.
Yeah, I've yet to watch it.
I've seen parts of it.
Yeah, like it's like we're seeing these indie creators, these small time people who are not beholden to the big leagues, finally saying, you know what, you know what, like, here's my middle finger. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and the fans are, and I'm not gonna like try to push this agenda for you anymore. It's like this is clearly what the fans want, so we're gonna do what the fans want. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And I think and I think it's very telling that, like, you know, because we're starting to see the indies rise up, and I love it because we're also seeing the media immediately try to lambast and trying to like attack these groups, but like then we're seeing like the opposite side where the fans are like rallying behind these people, and it's just like we're seeing it. Like, it's funny, like when you go to Rotten Tomatoes and you see like the critic score is like 15%, but the fan score is like 99%. Oh no. Like, what are you gonna do? You can't stop it anymore.
Well, I mean, the very fact that there are people on this earth that will tell you that they think that The Last Jedi was brilliant and inventive and like intelligent, like that just, I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, because I went to film school and like Rian Johnson made a bunch of like film school mistakes.
Yeah.
In that, like, not even just like talking about what he did to the Star Wars canon, but like just from a filmmaker's storytelling point of view, the guy made the dumbest decisions imaginable. Like,
yeah,
you know, it was like, oh hey, like, you see how this plot line was going here? Well, guess what? I let it fall flat. You weren't expecting that, were you? No? Oh, okay, cool. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I also went to and graduated film school, and he broke like a shit ton of rules in writing and in shooting and stuff like that. And it's not that you can't do that, because in film school, we learned that you can. Yeah, you can. You have to be able to justify why you broke them if it came down to it. There's plenty of things that do well that have broken film rules, but the thing is Rian Johnson did. Now, I liked a couple of parts in The Last Jedi, but like, because I also don't believe nothing can be completely 100% bad. I think there's a few takeaway things that were good in it, but yeah, you have to be able to justify it, and that's the thing is like, just nobody question. No, that's the thing is the general public, these days, or like even a lot of people in the nerd culture that are SJWs or whatever that don't want to question things. They just want to accept poor things and like things done poorly.
What was
And
that?
just go with it.
What was that quote switch you said? Consume, continue, repeat, or something?
The quote I had.
That was
like,
from a video, wasn't it?
It's actually from Red Letter Media, where one of their podcasts, consume product, don't ask questions. Like, let me see if I can find.
No, it's it's something like consume product.
Let me see if I can find it.
Wait
like,
for new product. Consume more product or something.
Yeah, like it's a very quotable tweet, but like, here it is. Don't ask questions, just consume product, and then get excited for the next product. But like it's more true each time here. I'm gonna send it to you on Discord here. But like, if you want,
They had another one come out recently where it was like all three of them sitting there.
Oh yeah, so the podcast is the Nerd Crew. I highly recommend watching it. It's a fun podcast. But not only do they do like the Nerd Crew, like just Red Letter Media in general is just fun to watch. And in the new issue, in the new episode, they literally talk about pretty much the Disney problem, or I should say like the conglomerate problem, where like companies are just buying out everything. And this is like, they literally had a joke of like, like they did like an oath to Disney joke in it.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I'm sorry. But
I can't believe the critics got pissed off at Alita Battle Angel because people were like, "Well, this is a female-led movie that people actually enjoy."
Yes, because it's not our female lead.
Yes,
it's not the one that they're
Captain
trying to, but it's not the one they're trying to push, right? The one they're trying to push is Captain Marvel. But like, I don't care about Captain Marvel. I think her movie was terrible.
You should enjoy strong female characters, but only our strong female characters.
Yeah, like there's also like the argument of like it's the argument, like, hell, Dave Chappelle is a black comedian, right? And if I remember correctly, I think he's Muslim too, actually.
Is he?
I think so. I may be wrong about that. I mean, I think I'm not sure if he is or if he used to be at one point, but like,
he was last time I saw.
Yeah, but like he doesn't like push it on anybody. You know what I mean? He's very like, he's very respectful of other people's like, but he doesn't push his idea. He never pushes his religion on other people. He's just a comedian. But he's always believed that everyone is fair game to make fun of.
Yeah, equal opportunity offender.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I like him as a comedian, because like that is one of the biggest rules of comedy. That means that like anybody could be made fun of. Like, I should be able to be made fun of. You should be able to be made fun of. Like
especially Flat.
Yeah, like a leftist should be able to make fun of a right winger.
Like everybody should be able to be made fun of, but like Flat, you can make fun of him double just so he.
Yeah. And if you haven't watched the special, first thing I want to tell you to do now, after the special is done, after you've watched the comedy special, watch the after show, and in the after show he explains like why he makes fun of what he makes fun of, why he's not making fun of Trump, and he's like, and stuff like that. Like, the reason he's not making fun of Trump is not because like there isn't material to make fun of Trump. It's the answer he literally gives is, well, everyone else is making fun of Trump. Why should I make fun of Trump?
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
Like, it's
also the thing that they don't get. Now, I don't care if you support Trump or you don't support Trump, but like the thing that they don't get is that if you don't like Trump, the best way you can beat him is by not giving him more publicity, negative or positive. That's the thing, right? Like, if you talk about something even negatively so much, you are just giving something free publicity.
Perhaps we need to exploit that. Perhaps the Flat Pack show needs to drum up some controversy. Let's stir the pot and shit stir a bit, shall we?
Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, like we need a we need this like pot stirred right now. We need the. It's starting to happen, but we need the pot stirred. You know what I mean? The reason we need this pot stirred is because we need people to see. Okay, you know what? Like indie creators, ourselves, everyone, we just can't take it anymore. We need we need to be able to freely. We need to be able to freely like make fun of these anything and everything. We need to be able to freely we need to be able to have our content be able to be uncensored again.
Things to be more fair,
yeah,
like you should be able to
I should not be afraid to okay, as an example, I should not feel fear for making fun of, let's say, the new She-Ra. I shouldn't be I should be able to say the new She-Ra sucks, because it does, without you telling me sexist for it. I mean, sure, if you want to call me sexist, I'm not going to stop you. Even if let's say I'm allowed to say it. But you know what? You should then be able to say okay, well, it should be a two-way street. We should both be able to say we dislike the other person's thing.
You know what I mean? Whatever reason we think possible. That's the thing, is I got into an argument with someone the other day, and they I don't know, love or hate any of these situations, but I am a huge Kevin Smith fan, more so, and especially his View Ask View movies, like Clerks. Mallrats is one of my favorite movies, Dogma, and that sort of thing. And I guess there was a rumor that he was going to be involved in the new He-Man, and I got into a debate with somebody. They were actually pretty nice about it, but at the same time they said, Kevin Smith movies are sexist, and it was almost hinting that if people like Kevin Smith movies, it's sexist and shit like that. And it's but okay, you don't have to like them, and you can think that they don't hold a certain standard of quality for yourself or for your morals or whatever, but that doesn't mean that somebody who else watches it makes them a bad person. Hell, it doesn't even mean that they share the same views as the person who's making the content. And I think that that's the problem, though, is we have these hive minds, and it's no, we must fall in line, we must like same thing, and in the end of the day is you cannot like it and I can like it, or I cannot like that and you can like it, and you just go watch what you like and I'll watch what I like, and we'll carry on our day, and
well, I mean, the other question is okay, if I'm told the products that I have to like, well, do I truly like those products, or am I then just being forced to like those products? It's
because they expect you should sincerely like them.
Yeah, so in this case scenario, as an example, as a good example of this is Captain Marvel. You are told that if you do not like it, you are sexist. So therefore, you have to like it, right? Yes. But because the only option is you like it or you're sexist, right?
Yeah.
They're going to do exactly the same when Terminator Dark Fate comes out. They're going to do the same. Well, they're already running damage control with that.
Are you not excited for Dark Fate?
No, I'm not.
I mean, but Disney could be coming by and could be telling you, you don't like Dark Fate. Are you just not a true fan of Terminator?
Yeah.
Are you one of the alt-right?
Yeah, James Cameron's already being a complete a complete douche, which he usually is. He's oh yeah, all the other Terminators since Terminator 2 were garbage or whatever, and it's maybe they were, but I don't like the attitude of only things I do are good, and I feel that's going to come into a bit of play there too.
I don't think all the Terminators after Terminator 2 were bad. I mean, okay, so as bad as Terminator 3 was, it had some okay ideas.
That's the thing too, is just because maybe Terminator 2 was the most popular, maybe it's the best maybe it was even the best Terminator. It doesn't mean that there was no other good Terminators. You know what I
Also,
mean?
like, does this mean Sarah Connor Chronicles never happened? I mean, I like the Sarah Connor Chronicles TV series.
Yeah, I don't know. James Cameron's just kind of full of himself. He's always sort of full of himself, and I don't know.
I mean, okay. Then I mean, like, also we had like the what is it like? Trying to think of like what else was good, like. Not Genesis. What was the one before Genesis?
Salvation.
Salvation wasn't too bad. Like, it wasn't great. Like, Salvation had like problems, but like it at least, like continued on like in the future where the war was happening. You know what I mean? Like, what people wanted finally to happen happened.
Yeah. What about
you know
Ben?
what I mean?
What about you, Ben? What do you think of the latest Terminator trailer movie?
Well, I have no interest in watching an old lady pretend like she can fire a 12 gauge, and I have no real interest in, trying to turn a woman into some amorphous alien thing.
Have they?
And I mean, whenever I think of James Cameron, I think of South Park, and I think of James Cameron doesn't do what James Cameron does for James Cameron. James Cameron does what James Cameron does because he is James Cameron.
I heard apparently he as executive producer on the new Terminator movie. He's not directing it, but he was barely on set. I don't think he even oversaw this project at all.
Oh, he'll say like, I don't know. He'll say that he was. I don't know. He's just like Ben said. Like, I can see him talking in third person and being like, "Yeah, I'm really cool. I do the coolest movies and stuff." Like, it's the same thing with Michael Bay too. Like, I watched a documentary with Michael Bay or some video or something. He's like, "Yeah, I did this really cool shot that's really really hard to do," and it's like he showed it and I was like, "That's not a hard shot to do. Like, it's not the most impressive thing I've ever seen." It's like we talked about this on a past Flat Pack show. If anybody wants to go back and watch it, like the George Lucas syndrome, where you can't do anything wrong. And actually, it's coming back now because I might do a video on it. I've been like just compiling all the Star Wars stuff that I want to talk about. But basically, part of it is that I watched another documentary on Star Wars recently, and there was a lot of cuts on the original Star Wars, and it was only because like George Lucas showed it to a couple of other film buddies, and they said it was crap, and so his wife and somebody else recut some things and made it better. And that's why, like, that saved Star Wars or whatever in a way. And it's like, I think that's something we've lost in recent media. Is I feel like there's not enough people telling famous people or like important people that no, this isn't a good movie, like let's try something different. Instead, I think we have a bunch of ass kissers that are like, yeah, it's great, I love it, it's great, give me money and popularity and fame, and it's great,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like we're getting at the point where like people are more ego driven, rather than like listening to the fan base. And it's like I'm not saying you shouldn't have a bit of an ego. I mean, some people definitely should have a bit of an ego.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's part of like what drives us, like the id and the ego. But there is a point where you have to stand back and say, okay, am I too engulfed in my own ego?
You can have an ego, but you should still also be able to listen. Like, it shouldn't cloud your listening abilities and stuff like that to be able to and your thinking process too. It shouldn't limit you from at least hearing what other people are saying and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like the like, and again, like we have examples of this where it's where with like where like with media, like currently right now, like here example, I was told the other day, like Taika Waititi is working on like this Taika Waititi or whatever, the guy who works on Thor Ragnarok is like working
Yeah.
on his new big comedy, I think called like Jojo the Rabbit or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Where it's literally about like this kid who like idolizes Hitler and like ends up finding like a Jew girl or something. It's like, what is this? It's just it's like, okay, sure. I'll give him props. It's like it's an original idea, I guess, but like it's literally like a comedy about a kid. Like it's literally a comedy about a kid during World War II.
Yeah, he seems like he's a bit of a like the director, like whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Seems like he's like a bit of a lunatic in a way because he's like all over the place and he's all like, yes, yes.
You know, he's argued with fans online because like they said that they're not really interested in apparently Thor: Love and Thunder. And I'm like,
yeah.
well, okay, good for you. Like that's not going to make me want to go see the movie now.
What did he say? What did he say to the fans? Switch.
Like he said stuff like, yeah, I'll destroy.
Just a bunch of woke stuff.
Like one person said like, well, I guess I'm not a well. Thanks for destroying Thor, and I'm like, oh, I'll destroy it even faster, like with this one or something. He's gloating about like destroying like the legacy.
He's
of
pulling
Thor.
a Ryan Johnson.
Like, yeah, he's gloating about destroying the legacy of Thor. Like, yeah, well, I'm gonna destroy even more than what you like, more of what you love in this new one. Like, all right, like you've really sown confidence into your plot with this one.
At least with his movie, he can't call anybody a Nazi because he's making a movie about that kind of thing. So,
well, you must. It's like here. If you don't watch his movie, you must be sympathetic to Nazis because clearly this is a movie about a kid who learns that he's not a Nazi. So therefore, like,
I guarantee you this thing was probably soaked in heavy layers of symbolism where he's probably, how much you want to bet, like, the plot of that movie was based on the idea of, like, I want to fuck with internet trolls.
Yeah, probably.
Like, pulling his whole, everybody there's so many Nazis now.
But I'm gonna show them that like the idea is, I bet like the idea of the movie is like, with my comedy, I will show them that not all, like, you don't have to be a white supremacist or a Nazi.
Exactly.
And there's goodness in us all.
Exactly.
Except for you.
Like, God.
It's like they always come from this place where they think they have the righteous indignation and the everything, and we're just these weird dumb hicks living out here. Apparently we think it's 1969, even though they're the ones constantly referring to race in newspapers and shit.
I think my favorite part about this is like, I'm not even sure how, like, it also proves like how much of a hack like Hollywood is because like literally you grabbed and no offense or anything, I think she's an alright actor, but like you grabbed what was her name, the one who played Black Widow,
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. She's like playing the mother of the boy in the movie, and I'm like, really, Scarlett? I mean, okay, I don't think you're a bad actor, but like it's proof of like what, like how far Hollywood's sunk, because she gets like almost every time they need like a strong female character or a strong independent female character, but like can at least act okay, they'll get her. And I'm like,
and she probably has no say, because if she doesn't, that's the thing is, I think a lot of these actors, I think if they said, yeah, you know what, I don't really care to send that message or whatever,
yeah.
I think that they would be like excommunicated from Hollywood.
Yeah, like, come on. Like don't get me wrong, I'm having a good laugh out of it because I think Scarlett Johansson is not a bad actress. I think she's okay, but like it's one of those things where you see her in so many roles, you're like, Scar, honey, you might want to take like a bit of a break. Like
I think she's trying to, but I don't know her personally, but I think she's trying to, but I don't think like they'll like let her.
You might be right. That actually might be part of it. but whatever.
Don't quote me on that, but yeah. That's I think I heard something. I don't know.
But yeah, so but we probably should go back. You said your book's coming out at the end of the month, right? Like this is when the Indiegogo opens up, right?
The 24th, I
yes,
think it
sir.
said.
Yeah.
September 24th.
All right. So no, I think it's cool.
If you had any advice to give to somebody who's starting out, like if somebody came up to you and said, "Hey man, I really dig your comic book. I want to do what you do. How do I get started? What do I do? Like, give me your wisdom. What would you recommend to them?"
I'd recommend finding a great artist, number one. I really lucked out when I found Render Contender. And I didn't, when I got into this, I, the last time I read a comic book, really read a comic book, I think it was Hush, Batman Hush. And, I got out of comics for a good while, and, I was just sort of peering in when I first started this. So basically, the roundabout of what I'm trying to say there is that when I approached into the Comicsgate community knowing nobody and really having no credentials behind me, but there are plenty of artists out there that are looking for new talent, and don't sell yourself short. And just give it a shot. It's really right now, the way everything's set up with independent creators, there's very little to lose right now. So it's a fantastic opportunity, and I think anybody who writes and who wants to create a comic should give this a shot.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, by all means, even if you're not creating comics, if you want to create anything, I think you should give that a shot. I agree with the message. I think it's good.
Yeah, it sort of can be maybe that's something that sounds like it could be applied to anything. Like if you want to make a video game, and there is a support market for independent games right now and stuff, and even if you don't think it is, even with I'm not going to bring it completely up, but obviously right now there's some drama going on, but even with that, I think that if you want to create your own game, you can, or your own book or your own comic. I think that your advice is pretty sound, that you could apply it to multiple things,
Well, I should add a little something there since you brought up that drama. Do not date anybody in your work field ever.
Yes.
Just don't do it.
Don't dip there's an old saying don't dip your pen in company ink kind of thing.
Yes. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, no, this time it'll be different. No, it won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, by all means. And so, I mean, I think we're kind of ending. We're kind of coming to the end here of the stream because it is getting a little later here.
Yeah.
But if you and you know what, Ben, I'm gonna let you say if you were to give anybody some anybody, let's say they any advice out there to kind of maybe they're struggling, or maybe they just want that first step, they need to take that first step forward. What would be some good advice that you'd give them to kind of get them on their way before we head on out here?
Oh, well, that's actually really appropriate because I was in a pretty bad place when I was starting off, and honestly, getting busy working on this project is what helped bring me out of it. The idea is you're gonna fail, you're gonna make mistakes, it's going to happen. Don't let that discourage you. Don't let that tell you that you're not good enough for this. It just means when you're developing a craft like this, it takes time to refine it, and it's going to require taking some skills. Because I know that I'm I'm technically taking a long shot with this campaign because there is a good chance that I may not make my goal. But if I don't, I'm going to take what I raised and I'm going to reinvest it into more art and to more promotion. Because, you know, I just know that, you know, people who get to the top always have to struggle to get there. So, you know, always just remember, you know, there's an end goal.
I mean, that sounds good. Like really good advice. I mean, of course, you know, you want to keep striving towards that end goal. Keep going. You know, keep moving forward. Even if you fail, even if you have to like pick your pieces back up, just keep going, kind of thing.
Exactly. And I mean, a lot of times, you know, we like, well, not a lot of times actually. Every time we fail in these things, we always figure out what we did wrong, and we fix it for the next time. And that's kind of, you know, that's how you learn it.
Exactly. I no, I appreciate that. Like, that's great. That's some great advice here. So, does anyone else have anything they'd like to, you know, leave on with final words here before we head on out?
I was going to ask. I'm afraid to bring up anything without it turning the voices all robotic. So this is what volume? How many volumes are you planning on doing for Outlaw Nights?
Right now, I have. This is going to be issue 1 of 6, but I'd like to keep it going beyond that. I'd like to keep it going as long as people want it.
So a long-established franchise you're planning to turn it into?
I'd love to, but it all depends on how people like issue 1.
Yeah. What's your goal that you're looking for Indiegogo?
Right now, I've got it set at 5,000, but I'm probably going to need to make more than that in order to produce this.
Yeah, because this art is really fantastic. I mean, like the page that I brought up earlier, they're in like some control, like is this in like a control room, the command room, or?
Oh, yeah, that's a security checkpoint outside of the planet that Cyrus lives on. That planet's called Andraste.
Yeah. I'm just loving that. All nice bright colours on the back, and then the foreground is just this guy with some weird goggles headset connected by wires, and he's just illuminated with blue from the screens. It is really cool, of attention to detail like that.
That one's actually my favorite right there, that picture.
Wow.
Pretty much like everything, Ivory's like pretty much my favorite character. So like I love seeing all the shots with him in it.
Yeah. I'm loving like the art, like the sort of the architecture of these sci-fi spaceships, like the interiors. Like
that was all render. None of that was me. That was all render.
I love these, like the big windows and the big like I'm trying to think of what you would call them, like the ceiling, like you make sure that you can see space, the vacuum of space. Like there's this one here that it looks like a front cover, or it's with the 2 planets on the background.
The front cover should have the title on it. Oh wait, I don't think you guys have the front cover yet. Okay.
It's the one where there's about 4 characters on the front, and
yeah, that's gonna be on page 30 actually. But I've been sort of using that as my promo image because it's such a heroic shot.
Well, I mean, that's the basic. It's the basic like hero pose shot kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
I see like this. They're in like this massive atrium, or like this big room, and it's just got these massive windows that you can just see every inch of space. And these
I know, and especially when we got Pressy Colors doing the colors, like he really added a lot of depth to the images.
Yeah. Yeah, all the characters, they all look really unique, and
I'm proud to say that was due to my description.
It is really visually distinct, and that's
It is very.
With all of the prior guests who have had on as well. You know, everyone's work has just been fantastic.
We've indeed had we've definitely had a lot of
great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, all sort of different unique visual styles and
we've had like very unique different styles of people and very unique different styles of groups showing up, you know. So I say we've done pretty well with this here. So
about 45 minutes. Yeah, I'm sorry about the beginning of the show being a bit robotic. It was for about 10 minutes, but I realised what the problem was. Yeah. Any final words? Did the stage is yours, Ben? If you'd like to add anything else just before we close up.
Oh, I mean, I just wanted to thank you guys for inviting me on. I mean, I love doing this kind of thing, and you guys have been so welcoming and awesome about it.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that, man.
Just be on the lookout for Outlaw Nights on September 24th. It's gonna be a badass, sexy book, and I'm really looking forward to people picking it up.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it coming out to see what you do with it.
Mm.
So I'm get on the train. We're going.
Yeah.
I'd like to say to all our guests as well, the door is always welcome for you to come back on the show again. We've had a couple of guests come back on a second time.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, definitely, man. Hopefully we won't have technical difficulties.
Next time, yeah.
Next time.
Yeah.
But, any final words from you guys, Switch and Nerd Waffle?
I'm gonna say, you guys go check out the Dave Chappelle show. Give Dave Chappelle some love. Also keep a watch of Ben. Check out his we'll have his Twitter page. It's in the description there, so just go check him out. Follow him. So when his Indiegogo goes up, you can definitely go check it out. But yeah, outside of that, I think like I said, go give Dave Chappelle some support. He did an amazing comedy routine, and he needs all the help he can get his hands on. To let the people know that the fans are behind him 100% on this one.
What about you, Nerd Waffle?
I'm gonna say that definitely go check out Dave. Well, I gotta check out Dave Chappelle, so I guess I can't really say go check out Dave Chappelle. But I guess I've heard good things. I want to check it out, so maybe other people can check it out with me, and check out a really awesome show. Another good show if you're looking for something really cool. If you're a Karate Kid fan, I just recently watched Cobra Kai, and it was fucking awesome. So if you're looking for something extra, go look at that. I want to thank Ben for coming on the show and sharing his awesome project with us. I'm excited to see more from it when you launch it. If you have my Twitter or whatnot, just send me a link or whatever to the Indiegogo. And thanks for coming on the show. And I want to say, as always, be the change you want to see. If you don't like something, then like a comic or a movie or something, definitely go make your own comic or movie. I'm not saying that you can't like other things, but definitely definitely be the change you want to see. And that's everything I had to say.
That's all she wrote. Well, that's all that Nerd Waffle wrote. Again,
Murder She Wrote is all she wrote.
Again, I want to give big thanks to you, Ben, for taking the time to come on the show. Again, apologies for the the sort of the rough start with the technical difficulties. But yeah, the invitation's always there for you to come back on.
Yep. Maybe we'll have him come back on once the Indigo goes back up. Once the Indigo goes up, so that way we can have like a more in-depth look of the Indigo modes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And again, for the people watching this live or later on, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget the Flat Pack show is every Wednesdays, 11 p.m. GMT. That's about 6 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we'll have Crumple Point on again. Hopefully he'll be free to come back. One of these
days we'll get him on here again, hopefully.
Yeah. And with that, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Flat Pack show when we don't have any technical difficulties.
That's the dream. Yeah, that's the dream.
So we'll catch you in the next episode. Take it easy, everyone. Bye.